trailer reaction. Now, I figured that I would do this one because, I haven't done this one before, and, yeah, I guess it kind of does make a lot of sense. And I figured that I would do this one, and hey, it's very great the way it is. And hopefully, I have a few couple of ideas for next week's and the following week's trailer reaction YouTube videos, so you can stay tuned and keep updated for those. Which I guess kind of does make a lot of sense and, well, very obvious. And yeah, I guess that's kind of the whole point centered around all that. So yeah, and I figured that I would do this one and I would explain all the other details later, the me and Shane stuff and all that. And yeah, you kind of already get what I'm saying with all this. So yeah. Anyways, without further ado, let's watch this.
I'm Larry Daly. I got a job interview with Cecil Fredericks.
Point you in the right direction.
Great. Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes,
He was our fourth president, right?
26.
26th.
This is the kid who wants to be the new night guard.
He looks like a weirdie.
I'll give you a little tour. This is the diorama room.
I remember these little guys.
On the left there is your Attila the Hun. And this is the Hall of African Mammals.
It's cute.
These are quite a little ball of fun, aren't you, Dexter? It can get a little spooky around here at night, so you might want to put a few lights. And the most important thing we'll remember, don't let anything in or out.
Out. Everything in this museum comes to life at night. It's freaking awesome.
This is a museum. I cannot tolerate this type of chaos. Can I have this, please?
The Iron Horse, boys.
Crying out loud!
Come to work with me tonight.
You won't be disappointed.
This is so not worth 11.50 an hour.
Now, what did I think of the trailer? I actually thought it was a perfectly good trailer. So I give it a 5 out of 5 and 10 out of 10. Now, you already know what happens in the beginning, middle, and the end. So now I'm going to talk about, how me and Shane were still doing, school and YouTube videos and different kinds of YouTube videos. Which I guess is actually for, the best because, it just felt very obvious. And, yeah, it's actually very fine the way it is. And I mean, I've done a lot of these, which is actually for a good reason because, it felt very obvious and all. And yeah, I guess it kind of does make a lot of sense. I mean, it kind of does. And when you think about it, very different and all. And yeah, I figured that I would do this one and now I've done it, which is actually the good news that I have. Which is actually very great, and I already, and as you already know what next week's are going to be in American Tale, Smurfs: The Lost Village, and the Adventures of Tintin. So you can stay tuned and keep updated for next week's trailer reaction YouTube videos, and also following week's trailer reaction YouTube videos. Whenever those come out. Which I guess, they're all fine the way they are. The same thing with the what would have happened if this were in real life Round TMRT gameplay series YouTube videos. Yeah, they basically are, and how it will probably be a long time before I come back to video gaming YouTube videos. Now I'm stuck with video gaming YouTube Shorts, which of course there'll be one on next week Monday, which I guess kind of does make sense because, feels very obvious, and yeah, I guess it kind of does make sense. It'll probably be a long time before I do like movie and TV show and video game reviews and roleplay series, Minecraft roleplay series and Minecraft roleplay series of some kind. Yeah, it'll probably be a long time before all those come out, and let's not forget about YouTube video remakes and recreates. YouTube video remakes and YouTube video recreates are definitely gonna be a thing of the future. Are definitely going to be a thing of the future with, me, Rhino TMRT, with me, Rhino, well, also known as Rhino TMRT Gameplay, which I guess kind of does make a lot of sense. And when you think about it, I figured that I would do this one, and now I've done it, which I guess kind of does make sense. Which I guess kind of does make sense for all of that, and I guess it's actually fine the way it is. I mean, when you think about it, I figured that I would do this one, and then the idea of me starting off with a new trailer reaction YouTube video for this week's trailer reaction YouTube videos is actually a very great idea. I mean, when you think about it, very obvious of a great idea. And yeah, I figured that I would do this one, and now I've done it, which I guess is actually the very good part. Which I guess is actually very obvious, and I'll be able to update the playlist. I'll be able to update the playlist for the video reaction and trailer reaction YouTube videos, which I guess kind of does make sense. I mean, if I were to do video reaction YouTube videos, well, I'm thinking of some, like, yeah, I am thinking of, like, some, but I haven't thought of any yet, which I guess kind of does make a lot of sense, and, it's very obvious and all, so, yeah. Yeah, and I guess it's actually fine the way it is, and yeah, I guess it's very great. So yeah, and yeah, and when you think about it, I figured that I would do this because it felt very obvious, it felt very great, and yeah, I guess that kind of does make a lot of sense, which of course is very obvious when it comes to like other sorts of things, and yeah. Yeah, it actually is. Yeah, it actually is very. It actually was very great and all that. So yeah, I figured that I would do this one, and now I've done it. And then what would have happened if this one real life round 2 RT gameplay series YouTube videos. There will probably be a new topic for this week. So next week. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. Peace out. Bye bye.